Hello, and welcome to a new episode of From the Honeycomb, a podcast that creates a spark of positive energy in your home to design, architecture, yoga, meditation, and travel. I've created this podcast as a place to come for design inspiration and to learn about Vastu Shastra with a modern approach. I'm your host, Katerina, and welcome to From the Honeycomb. I don't know about you, but I am ready for fall weather. It is something I can't believe I'm saying because summer is my favorite season. I love going to the beach and I love just summertime, the warmth. I do not like to be cold, but for some reason this year, I have accepted the changing of the seasons. For whatever reason, I bought 3 fall candles already. I bought some coffee with fall blends in it. I am just so ready for fall to be here. All right, but before we begin, let's take a moment to really ground down and think of something that we are grateful for in this present moment, whatever it may be that has brought you a sense of gratitude. And if you're able to right now, maybe close your eyes and think about whatever that person, place, or thing is that has brought you a real sense of gratitude into your life right now. And to share for me right now, what I am grateful for is going with the flow. The weekend I'm recording this podcast episode, we were supposed to be actually on a camping trip, and due to some unforeseen family things that came up, we weren't able to go camping, but it ended up being actually a really relaxing, great weekend. I went shopping with my cousin. I got to really just relax, sleep in, got to talk to some family, had a fun surprise family guest arrive to our place. And so it was just kind of a really relaxing, grounding weekend that I think otherwise, camping is fun and we would have had a great time, but there really was just kind of a really nice, calm weekend, and I've been able to get a lot of things done that I want to accomplish kind of before the changing of the seasons, the topic of today's episode, because this fall we do have a busy schedule, or I have a busy schedule, and so just kind of getting ready for that so I'm prepared. So just kind of really grateful to just go with the flow and, except maybe we weren't supposed to have the weekend we thought we were going to, but it ended up being a really just nice, calm weekend, and it was just really good, really relaxing. I got a lot of good sleep, so I'm very grateful for that. All right, well, I'm just sitting here with a nice cup of coffee in my favorite mug, of course, from Julie by the Mindful Potter. Give a shout out to Julie if you haven't listened to her episode. It's definitely check it out. But yeah, so I'm just sitting here with my favorite mug, some coffee, and I am just so ready for the fall weather to be here, for autumn. And it really surprises me to say this because for so many years, I feel like at the end of summer, this just kind of dread would just fill me up. And I'm just like, I love summer. Long days, the sun is out longer. I don't like being cold. I love just being out on the beach, outside, sun shining. And I know I should, preface, I do live in Southern California. So the winter and fall that is coming up isn't maybe the typical fall and winter that, some of you, my listeners, experience. And having lived in Chicago and growing up when I was younger in New Hampshire on the East Coast, I definitely know that I am very fortunate to have a very mild fall and winter coming up. But that doesn't mean I usually, it does get cooler. You can't go lay out on the beach in December unless we have a weird heat wave. But there is just this sense of also everything that kind of encompasses the changing of the seasons. So already now in stores, when I'm recording this episode, it's a little sooner than when it'll air, but I've already seen Halloween stuff, which in the US, Halloween is October 31st, which feels like so far in the future, but it really is right around the corner. And so I'm seeing those fall decorations. And for some reason this year, I'm really embracing the change. And it's been a pleasant surprise. And I don't know, I've been reflecting on why this year I'm excited for fall because in the past, especially living in Chicago, once those, you could feel that like cool, chill air in the afternoons and the evenings. You're like, oh, fall is coming, which meant winter was coming, which meant you're inside all the time. And so moving back to California a couple years ago, I feel like my mind has shifted, like, don't worry, even though fall is coming, it's not that cold, -10 degrees Fahrenheit with like -20-degree wind chill, bone ice cold wind weather coming up ahead. And so maybe I started to think maybe that's the reason why, is I finally remember, okay, because I did grow up for most of my life in California. Hey, you remember those California winters? They're not as bad, of course, as those Chicago winters. But for some reason this year, I have accepted the change of the seasons in a very positive, excited, I'm excited. Like I said, I bought 3 new fall candles. I said, we're set. We've got so many fall candles. I bought coffee with fall, blends in it. And I'm just so excited. We also, because we have our slow cooker, I'm so excited to make those stews and just be at home and just kind of burrow in and just get ready for winter. And then again, California winter, but still there's something about it. I'm very excited for the holidays coming up. And upon reflecting that, I also think it's because I have passed my architecture exams. I do still have one more coming up, but regardless of how it goes, I won't be studying around Thanksgiving or Christmas for the first time in a couple of years now. And so I think as I reflect more on it, I think that's also why I'm so excited for this fall, where I won't be deep into studying. For part of it I will be, but I'll be able to enjoy the holidays more than I usually was able to the past few years. And thinking back on also how this summer went, I feel like I came into the summer season just guns a-blazing, let's go, because I really wanted to pass my architecture exam and I just wanted to go. And also just coming off of, I think, our Belize trip where we got that full-blown summer, it just feels like I have enjoyed summer to the fullest this year. I'm absolutely content with how many times we went to the beach. We explored new beaches, so it feels like we went to the beach more often. And I've worn so many of my fun summer dresses at work. And so I feel like I've really indulged and enjoyed the summer this year. And now I'm kind of ready to ground down and just be okay with the sun setting sooner and just kind of learning to take a little bit slow, because this summer, it just was so energetic. We were so social. This was a very social summer for Jesse and I. I feel like we did a lot of family things. We had people over for dinner. We went to an Angels baseball game, and we've been kind of out and about, out of our little bubble. And I think also with COVID, yes, it's kind of gone up and down, but it feels like this is kind of we're getting a little back to normal. And I don't want to say that because it doesn't feel like we're getting back to normal. And I know so many parts of the world are still not back to what it was before COVID, but there's this sense of kind of light at the end of the tunnel. We're kind of getting out of a really tough time, but I know I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, it just feels like that. I've, got a lot of good news on the financial front, on some financial challenges I had, and it just seems like everything that I was pushing forward and trying to accomplish at the beginning of this year has been like a fruitful abundance of accomplishments this summer. And so I think that's also another reason why I'm just ready for fall. And again, to ground down and just really enjoy the season. And so I'm wondering how you guys are kind of thinking about the changing of the seasons. If you've been reflecting on fall coming up so soon, it does seem like month of August, and here we are in September now. It went by very quickly, but I want you all to take a moment to kind of just sit with it as well at the end of this episode, and let me know what you think. If you like the changing of the seasons, I'd be kind of interested to know what your guys' take is on how you feel at the end of the summer and going into fall, because I think we all approach it differently, and I think a lot of us, maybe fall is your favorite season. I know so many people love fall. I see it on social media with pumpkin lattes and pumpkin everything, and which, on a total side note that I kind of just remembered, is I realized, and it never occurred to me how pumpkin crazed America is, because like, I know, we have the pumpkin flavored everything. It seems like it has come out now. And the funny thing I just thought of is last year we were in Madeira for our wedding at the end of September, and everything in Madeira was passion fruit flavored. And I just was thinking, wow, like they have passion fruit seltzers, they have passion fruit cookies, they have passion fruit chips, passion fruit candy. Everything was kind of passion fruit. I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. They must really like, I know it's one of the fruits on the island. And I'm like, oh, it must be like a big thing over here. And then we came back to the US and everything was pumpkin flavored. You walk through Trader Joe's and I think you can get anything that you usually get there, you can get it in a pumpkin flavor. It's ridiculous. And in that moment I thought, people who come here to visit the United States and come here in the fall, they must think, wow, Americans must love pumpkins. Like pumpkins, man, like you wouldn't think it's in season. Maybe passion fruit's in season in Madeira when we were there. So it's just kind of funny I think it is so funny how pumpkin crazed we've all gotten here. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I kind of enjoy pumpkin. There's some good pumpkin bread I've had, but I wouldn't say I love it. But anyway, that's me just going on a tangent randomly here on my microphone with you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of share what I'm thinking about with the changing of the seasons and kind of reflect a little bit on it because, like I said, I've been pleasantly surprised with my acceptance of fall coming and cooler weather approaching, and I don't know, it's kind of nice to reflect on that. Well, thank you all for listening to my little season ramble of how I'm kind of experiencing life right now. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you like this episode, please give it a heart or thumbs up and click the follow button so you can stay up to date on the latest episode. You can also follow me on Instagram @FromTheHoneycomb Podcast. Thank you so much and see you next time.